We are going to be going live in 2 minutes. Getting ready for our live. Going live, starting up in 1 minute. And of course, my dog is barking. Of course, my dog is barking. Yeah. 40 seconds to go. We got 30 seconds. We're heading towards 30 seconds. 30 seconds. This is my first ever live. All right, I'm going to start early. I'm starting at, all right, 20 seconds. I couldn't hold out. I got to go live. So this is my first live. My name is Lowell Brown. I'm from Going Social. And in this video, I'm going to cover tips for you as a real estate agent to get better performance from your Facebook ads. Now, I've been dealing with real estate agents, helping them with their digital marketing, whether it's websites, Facebook and Instagram marketing in terms of their posts, LinkedIn marketing as well, Facebook and Instagram ads, and Google ads. And I've been doing that for about 10 years. And I commonly see some issues that my clients have had when it comes to marketing and success that they're having with Facebook and Instagram ads. So the point of this video, this live, is to outline some of those issues and to take you from start to finish so that you can go beyond simply boosting your posts or your ads, trying to make ads from, Facebook when they do that boost. And within the app, it lets you like click 2 buttons to post an ad. We're going to go beyond that because you can only have limited success by using that sort of a boost type of an ad. We want to get into the nitty gritty of actually creating successful ad campaigns, full campaigns, and using Facebook's Ads Manager. Now, in this video, I'm not going to cover Ads Manager. I'm not going to cover all of that stuff. This is simply a starter point. It's more of a overview video to help you get everything in order so that you can start to set up your Facebook and Instagram ad campaigns. We're going to cover a lot of information here. I welcome you to ask questions, leave a comment. I will be happy to answer those for you. And we're gonna have some fun here. So I welcome your comments while we are live. If you're watching this after the fact, feel free to just write a comment below and I will respond to you. Again, my name is Lowell Brown. My company is called Going Social, and we're a digital marketing agency in Toronto. I work with a lot of real estate agents, but also other businesses. But in this video, we're simply focusing on Facebook and Instagram ads for realtors so that you can get better success with your overall marketing. Let's get into it right now. So the first thing is we're gonna talk about this as if it is Facebook advertising, my 5 or 6 Facebook advertising accelerator points. And the first and biggest issue that I see from dealing with all kinds of realtors is the lack of using the Meta Pixel. It's also called the Facebook Pixel. Um, and basically, what that is it is a line of code. It is some code that you embed on your web pages. So whether you have a website for your realtor business, like your own website, or whether you are using a landing page platform. Let's say I know some realtors will create a specialized single page website just for one listing they have. So whether you're using your main website or a landing page, like a lead pages type thing, you need to have that Facebook Meta Pixel installed. Now, I would recommend you even go beyond this and install Google Analytics as well. But for the purpose of running your Facebook and Instagram ads, the Meta Pixel, what it does is it helps collect data, not only about the performance of your ads, but it also collects data about the audience that's interacting with your website and what they're doing. The reason this is important is because that Meta Pixel helps collect data about the audience, about the people, along with the interactions they're doing with your ads. And it helps you measure the success, the performance of your ad campaigns. It helps you measure conversions, and we'll get into that in a second, but it also collects data about the audience. So let's say you've run a campaign on Facebook and you did a general Facebook ad about helping people find a new home, or helping people, whether you're looking for sellers or buyers. Let's say you're running a general campaign and you've run that for a couple months. Now that you've run that campaign, Facebook has collected data about who saw the ad, who clicked on the ad, how many times they clicked on it, things like that. And what that helps you do is within Facebook, you can now create audience profiles or groups of audience. So in the future, you could run an ad strictly to an audience of people who have gone to your website or people who have clicked on a previous ad campaign you have, right? So that's some of the power of the pixel. And if you don't have that pixel, if you're not leveraging it, you're not collecting that data, you can't use any of that information. So that's why the pixel is one of the most important things to ensure that you have it set up. Now, I know this is one of those kind of technical things, one of those, when it comes to adding code to your website, that may not be your strong suit. So if you do need help with that, please write a comment below and say pixel help. Okay. I would be happy to help you out. You can reach out to me. You can book a consult with me. And you'll find a link for that below in the description of this video after it is live. But I also do have other videos in my channel here on YouTube. And one of them is how to install the Facebook Pixel on lead pages, which is one of those landing page platforms. So you can watch that video, but if you're looking to have more help from somebody, reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you. Now let's get back to some of the other things you can do with that pixel and why it's important. Well, as I mentioned, one of the things I talked about was conversions. Now, what is a conversion? Well, conversion is if somebody goes from your ad. So we've got the ad here, and sorry with the tracking here. We've got the ad, and someone goes from the ad to your website, right? So we're monitoring a connection of someone going from a Facebook ad to your landing page. And then once they've hit your landing page, you're going to send them, maybe you've got a form on that landing page, right? So you've got a form, and then you're going to drive people, once they complete that form, to a thank you page. Well, tracking that whole journey from the ad to the main landing page to the thank you page after they've completed the form, you're going to track that as a conversion, that whole process, right? So the Meta Pixel and installing conversion tracking with the pixel, setting up these conversions, will allow you to track how many people saw your ad, how many people went to your website and how many were successfully completed a lead. And that's important when you want to measure the return on investment from your ad spend. So if you're spending $500 on an ad over the period of a month, you want to know not only how many people saw the ad, and not only how many people actually went to your landing page website, but it's even more important to know, out of all of that people and out of that, let's say $500 you spent on this ad, how many leads did you collect, right? That's super important and valuable for you because it'll help you know, was your campaign accurate? How successful was it? What was your return on ad spend? All of that stuff. To be able to do that, you got to use the Facebook pixel. So that's point number one. That's why we look at ensuring that you have the Facebook pixel set up. And that's just one of a number of things that I help clients with. The other thing is setting up audiences. Now, because as a realtor, there are certain restrictions for advertisers, and one of them is how much you can target in terms of demographic information and things like that. So there are certain audiences that you can still set up for a real estate audience, and things that you might want to set up for future ad campaigns. So that is another thing that I do help my clients with. Again, if you need help with that, comment below. Let's get into point number two. Point number two is all about planning. The important thing that a lot of people skip over is, when you're thinking of running an ad, you're like, I'm ready. I've got everything ready. I want to just create that ad. My listing's ready. I've got my pictures, everything like that. And you rush into it. And my recommendation is to plan ahead. Sit down with a pad of paper or with your computer and plan things out. And we're going to get into this in the next point, but part of the reason for planning is because you don't want to create one ad. The thing with Instagram and Facebook is this is what I call invasive advertising. It's invasive because people aren't necessarily there looking for your advertising. They're not looking for you in that moment. They're on social media because they're playing around. So if they stumble upon or they get an impression of your ad, you have to capture their attention. And what happens with ads on social media is they have a lifespan, and it's typically shorter than things like a Google ad or a print ad, for example. Typically, what I see for real estate agents is that your ad campaign is going to last for anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 weeks. And what I mean by last is that over that period of time, people will see your ad and they'll start to see it more than once. They're going to see it maybe 3 to 5 times. And after that, they're going to start to ignore it. So as you launch your ad, you're going to see a spike in activity where the ad is going to be shown to lots of people and lots of people are going to click on it. And there's going to come a point in time when the performance starts to dip. And one of the things with monitoring your ad campaign is to know when the ads are not performing as well and to switch things up. And that's why having a plan in advance of not just one ad, but a bunch of different ads is important, right? The other thing that you want to do is when you're creating your ad, you don't want just one ad. You want to have, I recommend having 3 to 5 different ads. And the differences in those ads can be headlines. So every ad will have, there's an image, there's usually some copy, and there's a headline. The headline is that one kind of, maybe 30 character max limit of something that's going to stand out. Now, sometimes you might say, a home for sale in this area. You might say the address of the house. You might say something catchy like beautiful home you don't want to miss, right? Things like that. The headline is what's catchy. And you generally want to test a couple different variations of that headline to see what's going to perform best. So when you set up your campaign and your ad groups, now let's take a step back here for a second. So an ad campaign is the overarching group of your ads. Within a campaign, you might have multiple ad sets. And I'll give you an example. An ad set could be, you're going to have, within this campaign, you're going to have 2 ad sets. One that's going on Facebook and one that's going on Instagram. Okay. Below the ad sets, you're then going to have the ads, and you'll usually have multiple ads, 3 to 5, like I mentioned. So with those individual ads, you could have 3 to 5 ads with the same title and the same copy, but different images. Or you could have the same image or video with a different headline. Or you could have slightly different variations of the ad copy, the actual description below the headline or below the image and video. So I hope this isn't confusing, but what I'm trying to express here is that you need to have more than one ad. You need to have multiple versions, not only because you want to test what's going to work best in terms of performance, what are people going to click on more, what's producing more leads for you, but over time, the ad performance, when it dips, you need to look at launching a new ad, something fresh that people haven't seen, a new ad campaign, right? So having this already in advance when you're going to create the ads in Facebook will help speed up the amount of time it takes you to do all this. I've seen where people are trying to create their ad campaigns and they go into Facebook, they start setting things up, and then they're struggling to find the right images. And then they realize they have to edit those images, or they realize, oh, I can have more than one ad copy. And then you need to, take a break and plan a couple different versions. Having all of that stuff done in advance can save you a lot of headaches, because it can be a little bit frustrating if you start something in Facebook and then you have to try to come back or start again. Having it all ready ahead of time, multiple headlines, multiple versions of ad copy, have your images ready, edited, sized correctly, and videos prepared correctly. That's going to help you in advance. Okay, let's go on to the next step, and here it is. We talked about the creative. We talked about having multiple versions of it. We talked about having the 2 to 4 week lifespan. And that's why when you're creating these campaigns, you need to have additional creative. And I already touched upon that. The one thing I forgot to mention also is consider when you're working with images and you're working with videos, think about the placements. Now, Facebook and Instagram both have multiple placements. And what that means is there's different places on the platform where they can show your ad. When you're setting up your campaign, a lot of times what people will do is they'll just say, hey, show it wherever. Okay. That's one of the pitfalls. And I really want you to, if you do that, if you have created ads on Facebook and Instagram, and you leave it to the platform to choose the placements for you, I want you to comment below and say automatic placements. Okay. That's what Facebook calls it, automatic placements. And I want you to comment below, and I want you to do that because I'm going to give you a recommendation. If you comment that, I'm going to reply to you and I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't do that. Okay. But you have to comment for you to find out why. All right. So getting back to the creative and the placements, Facebook has stories as a placement, and stories are tall, right? So the image has to be created and optimized, sized appropriately for that when you're setting up the ads in Facebook's platform. You need those images ready to go. Same thing with Instagram. Instagram has stories. Reels are also the exact same size. They're that, tall, 16 by 9. That's the placement. Facebook has wide, right? So you can do a wide rectangle image on Facebook. You can do it on Instagram as well, but Instagram also has square. So now we've got 3 different sizes that you can work with. There's actually a fourth. If you know what you're doing with Instagram, there's a 5 by 3 as well that you can use. So what I'm trying to say is when you've got your real estate MLS, images, or you've got your drone footage in a video, you need to get those files adjusted. And that's one of the things that I help my clients with. When I'm doing campaigns for them, they'll give me access to all the videos, to all the MLS pictures. And I use a platform called Canva. Canva is my recommended platform for adjusting images, setting up visuals. And sometimes what I'll do when I create the different visuals, we'll size them up differently. And we'll use, sometimes I use 1 or 2 images. So an ad campaign, if I'm doing an image campaign, I may only have 1 ad, image. It might be the image of the outside of the house, or it might be something about the inside of the house. Some campaigns that I create are carousel ads, which means that there's multiple images that a user can kind of scroll through, right? So if we're doing that, we need to have multiple images set up in multiple different sizes. If I'm doing a story ad, instead of doing one image, I might make it an animation, like a video, where the images, I'll have 5 or 6 images and they automatically go like a slideshow as a movie, so that it creates a 30-second to 60-second story or reel. The other benefit of using Canva is that you can add text on the images. So I can put your logo on the image. I can put text with the address. I could do a preview ad saying coming soon, right? So something like that. So if you are looking for help with Canva, if you want to spice up your images, just let me know. I'd be happy to help you with Canva as well. And I do have other videos in my channel here that you can find on using Canva. I've also created one for real estate agents showing you how to create a slideshow video from images, how to create one of those slideshow videos to show different elements in an animated form instead of just doing carousel or something like that. So I've got a video on that you can see as well. So let's get on with the next point. But what I wanted to express here is that you want to make sure you have multiple images for multiple ads and have things ready to go. So the next time you want to create your campaigns, you've got that ready to go. And remember, different placements need different sizes. So if you're going to create a campaign and you want it to show as stories, you need those tall images. Otherwise, Facebook can't show your ad, or it's going to look messy the way they try to do it, right? So having those visuals sized appropriately ahead of time is what you need to do. I hinted at this before, and this is point number 4, and it is about placements. One of the things that Facebook wants you to do when you're creating a campaign is they will recommend automatic placements. And what that means is you're leaving it up to Facebook to choose, hey, where do you want to show the ad? Which platform? And they also have something that's off of Facebook and Instagram called Audience Network. And these could be apps. These could be other websites where your ads can show because they've partnered with Facebook. And oftentimes, this is not where your audience is going to be. So showing your ads on something like Audience Network when you're a realtor is just going to waste your money. It's costing you clicks, because if somebody does happen to click on that, you're spending money and it's the wrong audience. If they're in an app, if they're playing a game, they're going to click on your ad just to get out of that ad. But really, they're not going to take the time to see your ad. So being selective with the placements and knowing which placements to go to is important. Oftentimes, one of the things that I do when I'm creating campaigns is I will separate Facebook and Instagram. And the reason I do that is because Facebook, number one, Facebook has a lot more placements, meaning there's different places on the platform they can show your ad. They can show it in search. They can show it in messages. There's, the side column, the main feed column, there's stories. There's all kinds of places they can show your ad. So you're oftentimes going to have your ads showing more often on Facebook than you will on Instagram. Instagram mainly has Reels, the feed, and sometimes you can be in discovery, but there's less placements. And the other thing is, when I'm doing ads for realtors, I want to be able to control the budget for each platform. So if you automatically create one campaign and you say, choose it for me, Facebook's just going to throw the budget wherever it's working best, right? It doesn't mean that you're going to get an equal distribution between Facebook and Instagram, or it doesn't mean that you're giving yourself control of that. So what I often do for my clients when I'm creating ads is I will create separate ad campaigns, one for Facebook, one for Instagram, throwing a different budget, generally a larger budget on Facebook, but sometimes even larger on Instagram. Depends on the client and their following and what we're doing. But this way I can control a little bit more of what's happening on each placement, on each platform. I mean, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, I can control that a little bit more. And the other thing is, sometimes one platform may not be performing as well. And I may want to switch up the campaign sooner. So if Facebook is running and it's still performing really well, I'll leave it running. But if I find that Facebook, the performance is dipping, then I know it's time to change up the creative on the campaign or launch a new campaign. Well, if I've got them all tied together, I can't do that. I can't just stop and create a new one and add new ads. it'll mess up the data that you're collecting in your campaign. So it's much better to have some of this stuff spread out. So what it's important to know understand this about the platforms, and that's why, one of the reasons why I'm doing this video. It's important to know the differences and how those platforms work and how the ads will be distributed over those. But it's also important for you to plan out how you want your ad controlled, how much you want it on Facebook, how much you want it on Instagram, and being able to control that individually. Also within the stats, I mean, while you could see your campaign and break out, if you're looking at the stats to see how it's performing, it's a lot easier if they are separated. You could still do it if it's one big, ad campaign, but it's much easier if it's separated. Create different types of ad campaigns. So again, we talked about this a little bit in terms of not only, the placements and that kind of thing, but what I also recommend for realtors is to do different ads in general. So you might have one ad that's running for, a listing that you have because you want to get leads and book open houses or sell that property listing. But think about running running a few ad campaigns at the same time. Run one ad campaign. This is what I do with some clients is we'll run one ad campaign for you as a realtor in general, just an introduction video or maybe how you serve your clients best. And that we create as a video views ad. We create that mainly to get people to watch the video. And that's kind of the intro. It's a cold, we call it like the cold outreach. You're hitting people who, and the main thing is just it's branding. It's about getting them to see you, get to know you. And then we run that overall. Now, if people start engaging with that ad, they're more likely to see the next ad that you have, future ads as well. You can build up audiences. So you can say, hey, people who watched or engaged or left a comment or clicked on that video ad we did, I want to make sure that they see my new listing. So your next ad campaign you create when you have a new listing, you can use that audience of people who have interacted with your other video ad and make sure that they are seeing this new listing ad. So you start building on your audiences and building people through a funnel, warming them up. Another thing you could do is show a video collage of recent solds you have. That builds up your credibility, right? You could do an ad showing some testimonials. You could boost an ad that you've done as a video. So sometimes I know that when we're working with certain real estate agents, they're doing regular social media posts. Some of them can catch on. Some of them are kind of quiet, right? So the ones that get a lot of engagement, we want to make an ad out of those. Like if you do a post on Facebook and it's, let's say, for a community event you did, or for, a tip that you provided, or you recorded a video, maybe you did a live open house walkthrough with your phone, and that turned out really well. Well, you can now create that as an ad. And that's just something else to boost your reputation. So what I'm trying to express here is don't focus on just doing ads only when you have listings. Create ads at other times. And again, you don't have to spend as much on these ads, but even spending a couple dollars a day, anywhere from $1 to $5 a day on these ads, helps you get seen over a larger period of time on Facebook and Instagram. And what happens is that's going to help you reach more people with future ad campaigns that you run. It's also going to help you get a bigger following on each platform. If more people are seeing your ads on Facebook, they're going to start to follow you. They're going to start to once the algorithm builds up an affinity score to that person. So if someone watches your video, they're more likely to see some of your posts that you do on Facebook and Instagram. They're also more likely to see future ads that are shown on the platform because they've built up this connection with you. So it's important to continually do advertising and not just focus on listings, but do general ads because you never know where you're going to get a new lead from, right? So I try to plan out these things with my clients that are realtors so that we can have an overall flow to our marketing and have something going on in between when they have listings. I have some clients that have, 2-3 listings all the time. I have other clients that have one listing and then it's kind of quiet until they have their next listing. Well, we want to keep the marketing momentum going. We want to keep the excitement going. We want to keep the eyeballs. We want to get you more leads and conversions. So we want to keep running ad campaigns, and that's one of the best ways to do it. The last and most important point that I want to leave you guys with is to not just set it and forget it. Don't just, create an ad and let it run. You have to look at the performance of the ad campaign. You have to monitor how things are going. Like I mentioned, these ad campaigns have a lifespan. It's typically anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. 2 is rare, but I've seen it happen where we'll just, launch a campaign and for some reason it's just not working out well. That you want to know when that's happening. If you keep your ad running, you're wasting your money or you're just not going to get any clicks on it, right? So you got to monitor what's working and what's not. You got to look for there's a certain point when you can see in your stats when your clicks are going, you're getting fewer clicks, right? When you see the number of impressions goes up and the clicks go down, that's a problem. That means people are seeing your ad, but they're not clicking on it, which means they've seen it too many times and they're starting to ignore it. So you want to check out things like that, but you also want to look at your ad campaigns to see, is it working on all platforms? I've run campaigns for clients before where I'll see that the store, and actually doing that right now, I have a client with a new housing development. And I separated the campaigns out for story only posts because what happened was when I grouped the ads and I had multiple creative for Instagram stories and reels, as well as the feed, what I noticed when looking at the performance was the story and reel ads were declining a lot faster than the feed ones. So what I ended up doing was I separated stories for Instagram and Facebook into their own group. And I knew that was going to only last for maybe 2 weeks. And then I had to do new creative because people go through stories and reels a lot faster than they will with feed posts. They just tend to be seen more frequently with at least this one client. So looking at the stats allowed me to see that was happening. While I thought the whole campaign wasn't performing well, it wasn't. It was just that placement, right? So it's important to look at your ad campaign to know when you need to launch a new ad campaign because it's not performing well. It's important to know which creative is working best. I've run 2 different campaigns with 2 different. I'll run a video ad and a carousel ad. I want to know which one's performing better. And the one that's not, I'm going to turn it off, right? So things like that, it's important to monitor your campaign. Now, how frequently should you be doing it? Well, the general rule is when you first launch a campaign, it takes about almost a week for Facebook and Instagram to gather enough data to really tell you how it's performing. After that, I usually check on it every 2 to 3 days. I will check in. It doesn't take long. You just look at it, look at the stats, look at how many clicks you're getting, make sure things are going well. And as you're looking at that, you'll see the indicators when it's time to change things up, and when it is. I mean, okay, well, I've got all of my stuff planned because hopefully you planned in advance those multiple versions, right? So now that you've got that all planned out, it's much easier for you to switch to a different campaign, a different platform. Okay. So, I hope that you found this video helpful. Again, we walked through not the hands-on getting into Facebook and Instagram ads, but it was more about helping you with, just changing that up. There we go. So it was more about helping you understand planning behind Facebook and Instagram ads and going beyond just a boost. A lot of times I've seen realtors, they'll say to me, listen, I'm doing these boosted ads and I think they're performing okay. I'm not sure, but I've seen other realtors doing different kinds of ads. Why is that happening? Well, it's happening because they're using Ads Manager, the full ads campaign planning tool. And what I walked through with you is the importance of getting things set up. You need that Facebook pixel set up. You need to understand and plan your creative in advance. Having multiple visuals, the artwork, the videos, have those planned out and multiple versions planned out in advance, in multiple sizes, because there are different placements on those platforms. Plan out headlines and copy so that when you need to create a new campaign, it's ready to go. If you have it all planned out, it will make it's so much faster and so much easier to create all of your campaigns when you need to. The other thing that we talked about was measuring the campaigns, knowing what to do and when to change them, and monitoring things overall. Again, I hope this was helpful for you. Leave a comment below if you need help installing that Facebook pixel for your ads. If you are looking for help, if you understand Facebook ads and you've tried it yourself, but it's not something that you feel confident in, it's not something where you're sure if you're doing it right, and you're looking for somebody to help you out, that's what I do for clients. All you need to do is give me your MLS pictures, and I help write the ad copy. We use the MLS, description of the property sometimes, but I help my clients write up all of that stuff. I set up the ads for them. I monitor it. You focus on running your business. You focus on, selling the houses and things like that. Let me help you by focusing on your digital marketing. So if you need help with that, look for links below. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, and I'm happy to help you manage your campaigns. Once again, my name is Lowell Brown. I'm from Going Social, where we make the complicated out of social media and digital marketing a little bit easier for you to relieve that stress and get you better results. I can be reached below, as I mentioned, and please be sure to like and subscribe on this video. It helps me reach more people with my videos and help more people out. And until then, thank you for watching. This has been fun. And I think I did mention this is my first live. So we'll do more in the future, but thank you for sticking with me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.